you beautiful humans. My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea, where we
sip the tea and our guests
spill that tea. Oh, and sing. We got Miss Mama in the studio today, as always.
With little glitty glit.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have actress extraordinaire, Christiane Seidel, Boardwalk Empire, Godless, FX's Fussy Verdun, Yummy Mummy. What more can I say? Amy Adams is here.
Thank you.
I mean Christiane Seidel. My love.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yes, girl, all the way from NYC.
Yeah.
What's up, Brooklyn?
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, so since you just said that,
Dropping it.
oh, how tired of you of people saying that you look like Amy Adams?
Honestly, I feel like I can't hear it enough because I love her. She's amazing. I love her as an actress. She's beautiful. And I'm like, sure, I'll hear it until I meet her.
And you still haven't met her?
I have not.
Oh my goodness. Dang.
I was like, you gotta slide up into her DMs, but she
You're
don't
like-
have a DM. She's not
Right.
on Instagram. She's
not
too
on
big
Instagram.
for the IG.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a first. I didn't even know she didn't have an
Me
IG.
either, because I was gonna slide right in and be like, hello. You getting her a lot of press.
Yeah, right?
You think? How was that moment? Like the kind of viral build, and just take us through that, because I
That
think
was
it's like
wild. It was so much fun. I mean, it was so unexpected, obviously, right? I'm just there with my girls from Godless, and we're having the time of our lives, and you know, we were already like getting ready together and being in the limo together and stepping out together, and then finally we're sitting inside the theater, and I look at my phone because, of course, I was taking pictures, and you know, the show hadn't started yet.
Yeah.
No, actually, it did start at that point, and my phone was like boom, 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 blowing up because my manager started texting me. She's like, "You're being mistaken for Amy Adams, and you're like best dressed in Mark Bauer next to like Scarlett Johansson." And I'm like, at first I didn't even get it. I'm like, "What are you telling me? Like, what? I'm not Amy. What?" And then the pictures started coming in, and I was like, I was watching the show, right? I wanted to see what's going on, but I was like, what? And they all loved it because they're like, let's keep this rolling. Let's keep this going until we,
Ding, ding. Hello. Why not?
until we, you know, tell them it's not Amy Adams. She's actually not even at the Emmys.
Wow. Wait, so do you think that that's helped or like hindered your acting career with people mistaking you for her sometimes?
I honestly don't think that it's done either, that it's gone either way. Because I go in for auditions as it's not like I got more auditions. It's not like they were looking for an Amy Adams lookalike, at least not yet. Or I haven't come across that audition.
Ding, ding, wait. In the universe, people. I see it.
And-
Sisters.
Yeah, sister. I mean, yes, of course. There's sharp objects where, you know, something. I don't know. Or no, Isla Fisher played her sister once, right?
There is the other Aussie that gets mistaken for her too. So it was like, there's a whole
Yeah.
gaggle of y'all out there, just like, you know.
We're triplets.
I was like, Lord Almighty.
Next movie.
I mean, I'm so flattered. Obviously, like I couldn't be more flattered. She's a class act. She's a beautiful act. She's such a talented actress. She is a mom. She's an inspiration to me. It's really.
Inspiration.
She is. She really is. She's so good. I loved her since Sunshine Cleaning.
Oh wow, we're flashbacking right now,
Rolling
girl.
back.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, you know, talented actresses, you're not too shabby yourself, girl.
You.
So take us through.
I just pretend I'm Amy Adams every time I work.
No, you don't. You stand on your own, and I think it's fabulous. You know, currently people can see you as the other woman on Fussy Verdun.
Right. Correct.
How is that? Take us through kind of, you know, the pivotal part that you play. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a part within a big cog. So it's exciting to, you know, even have the foot in that door.
Yes. I mean, that show is really an actor's dream because first of all, it's about a groundbreaking director, choreographer who's ultimately changed how movies and theater is being done. And the team behind it is Broadway royalty. and Hamilton, the Hamilton team, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Tommy Kail is directing a lot of the episodes, and everything was just people I look up to, people I admire, people, of course, I would die to work with. So that was for me.
Dead.
Yeah. Right
On arrival.
Totally.
Dream
It was.
come true.
I got called in for the audition, and the casting director was so lovely. You know, it's really amazing when you have a moment in the room where there's nerves involved, and you want to make the right choices and be strong. And you have a casting director who really wants to get the best out of you, and they see what you can do, and they work with you, and that happened. So, of course, I'm always not surprised when I get a call back, but it made sense. But I was beyond ecstatic.
Look at the sparkle in the eyes. It's
Yeah,
nice
because
to see
the callback was
gratitude.
with Tommy Kail, who directed Hamilton, who directed my episodes, and he is also another one. I just got very lucky along going back, like Boardwalk and then Godless and now Fussy, Verdun. I've gotten so lucky, really, with the type of directors I've worked with. Nothing but class acts. And this is not like something I just say. It's absolutely true. It's been, somehow I've been really lucky with avoiding any horrible stories that we're hearing about.
Yeah.
With people who love the strong women characters, the female characters.
Well, I love a strong woman.
Yeah, I
honey.
know you do.
Come on over. You can take
And Mama. So yeah, and I don't think I answered your question because you actually asked me about, about the other woman, right?
You know what? You kind of took it all over. All
over the place.
We kind of got there.
Yeah,
Kind of got there.
I mean,
But
it's interesting to play the other woman. I don't say this behavior is right, but she plays. You know, she is the first person we see where Bob Fosse, Sam Rockwell's character, where you see his side
Sam.
of Sam. He's amazing.
He's a handsome devil.
Yes, but where you see it sets up the whole chain of events, and that he's a womanizer and was a womanizer, and that's what he was doing all the time. You know, actually, Gwen Verdun said once that he was cheating on his mistress. You know, that's how
He busy, babe. He busy.
He is booked and busy.
So that's my part. Hannah is the first intro into that, seeing the side of him, and he was just so charming that everyone just fell on the floor. And yes, Bob.
And then other things happened.
Yes, other things happened.
Fell on the floor, and then it was all over from there. All right, cover your ears, Chad.
Cover the baby's ears. So, I mean, I was reading your article, and you had spoke about, after you had your twins, that you were almost ready to call it quits with acting. And for someone who wants to become like an aspiring actress, or people to follow footsteps like yours, like what advice would you give when you feel like you've hit that breaking point? I mean, yours were because you just feel like you weren't ready and weren't ready to get back. But for someone who feels like maybe they haven't made it, or they're trying to get to that spot and it's just not happening, what advice would you give them?
It's really tricky because people always say, and I'm 100% behind it, that you should always follow your dreams and be an inspiration. But I will also say this, that I have seen many actors being so broken, and their spirit is they're bitter, they're sad, and they're just holding on to something because they've invested so much of their lives and money into a career, and because they are in love with an idea of it. And it's just, and then it's of course always hard to say, I need to do something else. But I've seen many people walking away from acting and being much happier because they found a stability, they found something that fulfilled them on an ongoing basis. And I don't want to sit here and say, quit acting if that's what you feel.
Yeah.
Because, you have to hit so many, most people hit so many bumps and have so many setbacks and get back up. And I couldn't do it without the support network, without my reps, without especially my husband, my family. They keep me grounded. But it's also unfair to say to everyone that you should always keep going until you break your back, because we're not. I just had this conversation with a dear friend of mine, Audrey Moore, who has a podcast. Can I give her a plug?
Oh,
Plug it,
yes,
girl.
plug it right here.
Oh, Sippin,
Audrey
right
helps
plug.
actors. Audrey Moore,
Very
her
fitting.
podcast.
She helps the actors.
Right, exactly.
does.
Y'all need some help.
She's
Hey, girl, come help me.
Yeah, she's great. She's amazing. So we had this very interesting conversation because she's like, I want people to see that when you get into acting, you should treat it as if you're an Olympic skier, for example, or I'm just totally I don't know if I should even say this because that's her thing. She's talking about this.
She can come and sit with us next
Yeah.
episode.
I know.
You're sharing.
I'm sharing,
Yes.
but I thought it was so spot on what she had, how she puts it, because unless you put the same effort in, like an Olympic athlete would, and Olympic athletes often have other jobs. They still need to have a job to sustain themselves.
Yeah.
But they're willing to, train hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And you know this, I'm sure, as a wrestler or former wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She still wrestles every now and then.
I wrestled
with
Matt.
you.
So cool.
But it's not just, especially nowadays, it's like, oh, you can be YouTube famous, Instagram famous. You don't really, you have a spiel and you do your thing and then you're famous. And that's not how you can sustain a long-term career. It's also just as much a muscle to always be working and on yourself.
I like that. I think you should, the concept of that, I think you've really tapped onto something, because I think but it applies across the board. It's like whatever you're passionate about, whatever you love, running, jumping, skipping, acting, it's a muscle.
Yes.
It's I think the mental.
It's mental, but it's also, your body is your instrument. If you're a piano player, you practice your piano every day.
Until they believe.
You keep going and going and hours and hours and hours. And if you're an actor, you don't just show up on set and say your lines. You have to always be healthy. You have to be a healthy human being. You have to have your shit together. You have to train your voice. You have to train your body. You have to be fit. You have to sustain long hours of filming, and then come home and be a healthy human being. Right? You can't just fall apart every time you leave a set.
It's interesting. That's interesting in terms of, the short film that you just did. In terms of the characters that you play, I find it such a craft to be able to unravel, because it's like, how do you come home and sometimes the work's so deep? How do you switch that off? And you have two 2-year-old twins.
Yeah.
Do they help you switch that off? Because it's automatically like, oh damn, I gotta.
Right,
no
they do.
choice.
Yeah, and it's also like I come in and you see these happy faces. They just run towards
I
you.
wish we had video of them,
I
because
know.
they are nuggets.
They're so cute.
Nuggets.
They have this one of them has crazy hair and they have big smiles and they just run towards you and say, "Mama, mama, mama," and you're everything else is not important. It's just like that. Just totally grounds me. So yeah, that's.
She just got all gooey.
I know your eyes, like the sparkle that you have when you're like, oh, my babies.
Yeah.
Well, but like you said, you have to have that because, with what you do, anything that deals with entertainment, you have to find that. You have to find, a good support system.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not saying everyone has to have babies.
Yeah.
But you have to have you make friends that are family. You have people that are always there for you, no matter if you're up there or down there.
Exactly.
Right? That something else that you can't make acting your happiness. If you're successful, you're happy, and then you're not successful and you're not happy. That's the most unhealthy thing, because you will have times when you're not very successful.
When it's a little slow.
Yes.
The season's a little slow. They're like, you are not booked and busy at the moment.
Right. Wide open.
It's a roller coaster ride. So that's right. You're spot on. And I like how you broke it down where you were like, most people just say keep going, but you're like, if you feel like this is something that you'd maybe just say, I'm done, sometimes happiness is, finding something else to do that you maybe thought it was your passion. Because I feel like
Yeah.
in order to do like what you do and to do as an entertainer, you really have to love it, like love it from the bottom of your heart. If not, it's like
Yes.
you're a crazy person.
Yeah, and also we change, we change throughout the years, and we came with a dream to a city. Maybe we moved to New York or to LA, and maybe we were really young, and then you change and you become a different person, and then maybe your goals are different, or your idea of what happiness is different.
I so agree with that, because the external environment, it changes and you adapt to your environment, and then you take inspiration from the environment. So it's like, by that I mean, like when I moved to New York City, it was like changed my life forever.
Right.
And then it constantly changed. And now I'm here. It's another evolution. Things just evolve, and that's like,
Exactly.
and I think dreams evolve.
True.
Yeah.
I think dreams evolve, and it's not about like, I never put in like an end game on something. I'm like, no, what's the quote about the race?
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
It's a marathon. So
And Eddie, my husband, he's
we're
since
gonna get to Eddie, honey. I was waiting for
You've been
some
waiting.
Eddie. I've
You've
been
been
waiting.
talk about Eddie.
Who? Eddie, what?
One of the first things he's always said to me, and keeps reminding me, he's like, life is not a race. Like, you cannot race it's the same, but you can't keep racing until you fall over, and then it's done. You have to just be patient, and also with your career. You have to just work for the long haul.
I
Yeah.
always say aggressive patience.
Oh, I like
You have to have some grit.
Yeah.
You have to have a little grit.
Yes, for sure.
I think both you ladies have the goal, and you have, you all got different things happening to the side of that goal, but at the same time, it's like that's there.
Right.
So now you know what it is, you know what you want, and it's similar here. It's then you build your life around that, and it flourishes, and it comes. So she segued into Eddie. So let's talk about Eddie and your babies.
Yes. Eddie.
Biracial little babies.
Yeah. They're
Tell us about love is love, and it's a beautiful thing. And
Yeah.
they're the cutest little kids. I'm like, damn.
I have to
honey.
see pictures.
We need to put that up.
Yeah,
honey.
they're very cute. Of course, they're very cute. I think every mom thinks that. But they are. My husband is Asian American, so they are little half
You're
Asian.
mixed too.
Well, yeah, we won't get into my story. It's a little confusing.
That's for another
episode of
Oh, I'm so
Sippin' the Tea.
curious now.
Well, just my little brother and sister are part Vietnamese, and my mom was adopted. So she just got the 23andMe, and she's half black, half white. So they're half black, half white, and Vietnamese. But people think that I have I don't know. Who really knows? I mean, we're all kind
You
of
should take that. It's
Eclectic,
so
of
interesting.
course.
Yeah,
I
So
love
it's
that.
a mishmash of beauty.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. All the mixes that happen.
I think it's fabulous.
I think it's fabulous, and that's probably where it's going in hundreds of years, if we're all if this planet still exists. But,
Right, because I don't know right now. It's a little
No.
crazy.
So we're gonna sip some tea, because I want to hear about your mummy group, because I hear they turn it up, girls. So
Oh, yeah.
I hear y'all turn it up, and we're meeting at the kindergarten class, and they're like,
Let's
go.
Oh yeah, we're like I go to play dates, and I just have to go by the liquor store, get some bubbles.
it's the mummy support group.
Oh my God, yes, it's amazing. Like we go. I just the other day to my fellow Australian twin mom friend. Yeah, it's some of my Australian mom friends that are very into bubbles.
I was about to say, us Aussies know how to knock it back, let me tell you.
Clearly.
That's so funny. So what do you do? Just hang out at the park with your brown paper bags?
Not a brown paper bag.
No,
That is so
we
sick.
have
You never
nice
know,
plastic
girl.
cups.
This is New York City. By the way, she's fresh off the plane. So this is a New Yorker right here.
Yeah, we go to I live right next to the park, and the moment the weather is nice, we're in the park doing picnics and play dates.
Picnics.
Otherwise, it's indoors. It's someone's house, with all kinds of toys. Everything is crazy, loud music, kids running, pizza, and champagne.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I think the camaraderie between women, though, would be a nice different side for you, because you do set life, you do this, you promotional tours, and then life.
Exactly. It's so nice. Like I feel like I don't have to, I don't have to put on makeup. I don't have to look a certain way. I just wear my jeans and t-shirt and it's just, this is real, right? It's real.
I like that.
Yeah.
Keeping it authentic and real.
Sipping on them bubbles, honey.
We gotta do a little,
sipping the
we gotta do a
bubbles.
little
With
cheers.
little
Maybe we have
cheers.
a little bit of bubbles later.
Yeah.
I was
Where
like,
are
I'm
my
available.
bubbles? Where are my bubbles?
Y'all didn't want bubbles. Hello. I offered the gin and juice.
It's a little early. It's a little, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I always say that.
Actually, in New York, it's time to have a glass
Oh,
of
well, shit. Let's go.
On that note, I'm just gonna, so, can you tell everybody where to watch the show, where your social media is, and the whole nine?
Right there,
here.
girl.
Okay, great. Yeah, you can find me on all the different social media channels on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at It's Me, Christiane. And you can find Fussy Verdun every Tuesday night on FX
What
Well-
time?
at 10 p.m.
She's like,
Wait, actually, it's 9 p.m. in New York, I think.
Yeah.
I'm very confused about that always because I
that time difference
It's
can
always,
shake
it
ya.
really can. 'Cause
I
you're
think
like,
it's
wait,
9, 10. Yeah.
Listen, check that FX on Tuesday night, kiddies. We'll work. I'm
I should know this better.
We'll be there. We'll be there. I want to say thank you for, getting us in and coming to visit us all the way
Thanks
from
for
New York.
having me. For having me.
I think you're
love
fabulous,
this.
and I really
I
can't
think
wait to
you
see
guys are
what's
fabulous.
about to pop for you in the future.
Mama,
Oh, girl, don't be offended.
I know, it's
she's
like,
hot,
wow.
girl. She's hot.
You guys can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew. That's Little Nugget at Glitty Glit.
Matt Dillon, 1983, and girl, she is.
She is out for the count. All right, guys, until next Tuesday on Sippin' the Tea on Evertalk TV. Yes!
You mad at Pussy Pop?
On a handstand.
Yes!
Cheers!
Yay!
Yeah, you got the wrong number. Click.